Have you ever stumbled upon something so familiar yet so forgotten that it made you stop and say, "Oh, wow, I haven't thought about that in years"? It's strange how the things that were once so important to us, so intertwined with our daily lives, can just vanish. No big farewell, no news article, just gone. That's what we're diving into today, a journey through time, memory, and the little oddities that quietly shaped an era. Some were toys. Others were trends. Many were products of a very specific time, mostly the late 90s and early 2000s, when technology was clunky but exciting, and fun came in the weirdest forms. So grab a snack, maybe something like Dunkaroos if you can still find them, and let's unlock the attic of your childhood memories. Get ready for a wave of nostalgia. Back in the day, simple electronic handheld games were everywhere. Each device only played one game, usually displayed in a grainy black and white LCD. No downloads, no apps, just one game, one device. And you played that game endlessly. Whether it was a brick breaker, a pixelated racing challenge, or a puzzle game with oddly shaped characters, you squeezed every ounce of entertainment out of that little plastic shell. And then there were snap bracelets. You know the ones. Metal bands wrapped in colorful fabric that curled around your wrist with a satisfying snap. Kids collected them, traded them, and wore 5 or 6 at a time. But of course, all good things come to an end. Schools started banning them after the inner metal strips started poking through the fabric. Still, nothing matched that simple joy of hearing the snap as it wrapped around your wrist perfectly. Let's talk about hit clips. These things were tiny square-shaped gadgets that played just 60 seconds of a hit song. No full tracks, just a taste. They weren't great, but at the time they felt revolutionary. Music you could carry around in your pocket. You clipped them to your jeans, backpack, or keychain, proudly showing off your limited but mighty collection. 1 minute of Britney Spears? Yes, please. And those butterfly hair clips? A whole generation grew up with their heads covered in glittery, metallic butterflies. You'd spend 20 minutes placing them just right and another 10 fixing them after walking through a gust of wind. Your bathroom counter was probably covered in them, and your mom definitely stepped on at least one. Let's not forget inflatable furniture. Clear, neon-colored plastic chairs and sofas you had to inflate with a foot pump. They looked futuristic until they got a pinhole leak and collapsed under you mid-TV binge. But when they worked, you felt like you were living in a teenager's dream room from a Y2K magazine. Digital pets, Tamagotchis, Gigapets, Nano puppies, these things ruled our pockets. Feed them, clean up after them, make sure they didn't die overnight. It was like having a baby, except it beeped at you in class and had a pixelated face. And if you left it in a drawer too long, yep, you came back to a tiny gravestone on the screen. You remember slime that came in little plastic trash cans? That bright green goo that made squishy fart sounds and stuck to everything, including your hair? We didn't care. We loved it. We needed it. It was gross. It was amazing. Then came friendship bracelets. Hand-woven, colorful, and full of meaning. You'd sit for hours threading little strings into complicated patterns, hoping you didn't mess up halfway through. Giving someone a friendship bracelet was like handing them a piece of your soul wrapped in embroidery floss. Koosh balls. What were they really? A squishy core with hundreds of rubbery tentacles? They didn't do much, but they were satisfying to squish and toss. Every classroom had one, so did every desk drawer. Maybe we didn't need them, but we sure wanted them. Mood rings. Let's talk about those. Supposedly, they detected your feelings based on finger temperature. In reality, they were just color-changing novelties. But we believed in them. Blue means you're calm. Green means happy. It was practically science, or so we told ourselves. Glow-in-the-dark stars on bedroom ceilings? They were our personal constellations, carefully arranged above our beds, turning every night into a magical space journey. They never glowed as brightly as advertised, but man, they made bedtime feel special. Scratch and sniff stickers, pure olfactory chaos. From pizza to bubblegum, every sticker had a scent, and some of them were surprisingly accurate. Others, let's just say burnt rubber banana, wasn't as popular, but we traded them like currency. Magic 8 balls. Ask a question, shake it, read the answer in the little window. It was mystical. It was decisive. And it somehow knew when we were being too needy. Ask again later, was the polite way of saying, "You've asked me that 5 times already." Tiny erasers shaped like hamburgers, hot dogs, and donuts. Cute enough to collect, but completely useless at erasing. You'd carry them around like charms, show them off during class, and swap them like rare treasures. They made homework feel almost fun. Let's not skip silly putty, that stretchy, bouncy, egg-shaped substance that could lift ink off a newspaper and transfer it in reverse. It was a weird little superpower in your palm. Rubik's Cubes, the classic symbol of genius and frustration. Some of us learned to solve them. Most of us just rearranged the stickers and pretended we did. And water wigglies, those slippery, tube-like toys filled with glittery liquid. No one could hold on to them. That was the point. They were impossible to grip and hilarious to throw. Bonus points if you accidentally launched one into a lamp. Foam stress balls shaped like human organs, oddly satisfying and weirdly educational. "Hey, look! I'm squeezing a brain!" Only in the 2000s could you learn anatomy and relieve anxiety at the same time. Slinkies! They worked beautifully once, then got tangled and never untangled again. But oh, the joy of watching it flip down the stairs just once. And those little plastic maze boxes with a ball bearing inside. Hours of entertainment. Tilt, 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 fall into the wrong hole, start over. The truth is, none of these things were essential. They didn't change the world. They weren't necessary. But that's kind of what made them special. They existed purely for fun, for curiosity, for joy. We live in a time now where everything is digital, optimized, efficient. But these little things, they were imperfect, sometimes pointless, but they made us feel something. And for a while, that was more than enough. So here's to the forgotten joys, the vanished trends, and the weird little items that once made the world feel just a bit more exciting. You didn't need to remember them, but now that you do, kind of feels good, doesn't it? Feels good.